Welcome to today's Daily Manna of Monday, the 11th of November 2024. Today's topic is Stand Up for God. Our text today is taken from Daniel chapter 3 verses 12 through 30. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made, well. But if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. Verse 17. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake, and commanded that they should heat the furnace, 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flames of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Verse 24. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake, and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake, and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you servants of the Most High God, come forth, and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake, and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath sent his angel, and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any god, except their own God. Therefore I make a decree, that every people, nation, and language, which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Verse 30. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Key verse: Daniel chapter 3 verses 17 and 18. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. We live in a world where it is increasingly difficult to walk with God without being challenged. Our faith is frequently being called to question. We often choose to compromise or courageously resist all pressures, primarily when our choice could determine whether we flourish in the worldly system or flounder in the daily quest for material well-being. Someone captures this forthright mindset as follows: courage is the standing army of the soul, which keeps it from conquest, pillage, and slavery. In the text, King Nebuchadnezzar had erected a golden image and ordered all his subjects to bow before it at the sound of the music of Babylon. Because they did not want to break God's command, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow to the image. They were summoned and threatened to throw them into the furnace of fire, but they stood their ground and were tied up and thrown into the furnace. But instead of seeing 3 men, the king saw 4 men walking unhurt in the fire. The 4th man was the Son of God. He was overwhelmed and summoned the 3 men to leave the fire. They were completely unhurt. He began to praise God and decreed that anyone that spoke against the Lord shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill. He also announced new promotions for the 3 Jewish men. When confronted with the pressure to bow to the God of this world, there are many excuses that we can give for yielding. But none of those excuses are acceptable to God. Whatever the consequences, we must be ready to stand for him. Even if most of the population is on one side, we must dare to be different and stand with God. Therein lies blessings in time and eternity. Thought for the day: those who stand with God become outstanding. The Bible in 1 year, read by Alexander Skirby. 1 Kings chapters 21 to 22.